summer's getting closer. No time to be sober, sunshine on my shoulders. I'm alive and breathing, living my best life. Love is on my mind and it's making me high. I'm staying in this moment, though it's hard sometimes, but I work it out every once in a while. I feel the love, I feel it growing every day. I feel the love, I feel the love. I hope it never goes away. I feel the love, love, love.
We are back for another HNL Tonight show with your hockey coach, your coach FRENCHY, directly for the beautiful country of Thailand. And on the September 24th here, 23rd for you guys. But we have to welcome back in the house. We miss him terribly during the week. He is with us tonight, certainly from Toronto, Ontario. Mr. ENORTAP is back.
Hello, Coach. And hello, Hockey Nation. Great to be back, Coach.
Glad having you aboard with us tonight, Mr. Nata. We're going to talk about a subject around the league. Hey, finally, the hockey is back. ENORTAP is back, and the people in the chat are back. So what about to not be back to back to back, like we said all the way, Mr. ENORTAP? Hopefully, you have an amazing, great week. Glad to see you aboard. look like my little bit NHL Tonight show is a little bit small. We're going to fix this. It's a part of the show. Sometimes we cannot be
We're gonna make it
perfect.
big.
We cannot be perfect. First of all, we're going to welcome everybody in the chat. We have, a show with
Sounds
no
great.
deal. It's impossible because we need to have the real deal. Prim is in the house tonight.
Hey, Prime, how's it going?
Well, Mr. Robin Allen back in the house tonight. Robert is a great asset for the Hockey Nation show. He does all the comments and the videos we produce every single day, Mr. ENORTAP. So we want to welcome Mr. Robert Allen.
Welcome, Robert. Welcome aboard.
And we have all the moderators of the Hockey Nation show from the assistant. We have Jose Duarte. We have Luciano Graziano is in the house. I didn't see Ron. Maybe Ron is around. If he is, welcome back, Mr. Ron. If not, we have, of course, the captain, Mr. DANY T in the house.
Skipper.
And we are protect. If something happening, Mr. ENORTAP is on the show, we are good because we can send our James Bond 007 and Mr. Vinny is going to be alert about what's going on around the chat.
007, welcome aboard.
He is our wild card behind the show, Mr. ENORTAP. He's the one he's watching what he's like. He's looking so Danny, look about this guy. Look about this one over there. So Vinny step up, say, what? Let me check about this. We'll be back with you. We'll give you some information about that. But talking about the West Canadian, Calgary Flame blogger, he's back in the house, Mr. Randy Walkman.
Hey, Randy, welcome aboard, buddy.
Danny, no, obviously I cannot show my anyway. So that's the subject for the time.
I don't know where you were going with that, Coach.
Well, I was trying to say that maybe the word my guns, but I'm not there yet. So I'm going to go that direction about this one there. But anyway, Mr. ENORTAP, we want to mention big news. I heard a little bit earlier when we was in a meeting with you guys. Mr. Randy Walkman confirmed with me he will be a part of the every Wednesday, most of the Wednesdays during the season, talking about the Flame for about a segment, about 10, 15, 20 minutes during the season. So Randy is going to be a part of the show for part of the team for the upcoming year number 3. So I want to thank him personally to say, take some out, Randy, to be take your commitment to be with us during the season at some point. And we're really, really grateful to be with us. And of course, we want to say it again, thank you so much. Wow. I know Randy is going to bring a lot of great nuggets about the Calgary Flame. We will talk, of course, the Pacific Division, Mr. ENORTAP. So great to have Randy part of with us.
No, that's amazing. Thank you, Randy. Like we really, just from my perspective, I can speak for many people that I've talked to. They really enjoy your feedback and your knowledge. And I know personally, I've talked to you on a number of different occasions, and I love it when you're in here. And thank you so much for being with us.
Yep, absolutely right. Great words about him, Mr. ENORTAP. Sometimes we call him the game-winning goal hockey, but we call him better the Bobby Bagado Nuts back in the house.
Hey, Bobby, welcome.
Hey, he's back again, Mr. Joseph Felice, back in the house. Jack I is making a sin.
Joseph, welcome.
Great to having
Always
you.
great to
Talking
have
about
you.
the Bobby show up. Mr. ENORTAP, without him, we cannot do another great show because he's the one that Mr. William McClary.
Hey, how's it going, William?
You are awesome. Here we go from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Cut it. And then Asham.
Welcome, Dan.
Randy said that trying to sign Wigar would love to trade, but nothing has been closed. Yep, the conversation is still there, talking about the money. Maybe that's the reason behind that. Mr. ENORTAP, are you ready We not see him a lot during the off season. He's been with us during the season at the warm-up show, everything like that. But now he's back with us for today. We are pretty sure that be a part of the show. Not know how long he will be here, but listen, he's back, ladies and gentlemen, Jake McAnooey.
Hey, Jake, how's it going?
You have an update or a scoop about this, about the Toronto Maple Leafs. Will be interesting about what's happening.
Tell us the tough guy. Who is he?
Yeah, absolutely right about this. Dan, ask what is going on with the Jet training camp. I'm going to give you some information down in the next couple of minutes. We'll go through that area about this with Detroit Whaler. Then we're going to talk about those Jet in the next couple of minutes. Mr. ENORTAP, before we start, I think now it's time to promote a little bit the show because you've been one of the biggest success of the year number 2 of the Hockey Nation show. When we create the show, it's called the warm-up. And the warm-up show, it's all about the prediction, hockey news, goalie starter, and hockey fantasy. And we have the boss, we have the gel, we have so many things, the driver. We have a lot of things going on, Mr. ENORTAP, during that show. We are back October 1st, guys, 6 o'clock p.m. We're going to talk a little bit the prediction of the upcoming season with fantasy hockey the first couple of days about the show. It's going to be every week, weekly, Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock p.m. And I thought we try to be there the most we can. If not, we have a backup. And we have no backup. I will do it. That's no big deal. But that's happening. The warm-up show, Mr. ENORTAP. Are you excited to be joined again? Year number 2 for you with the Hockey Nation show for the warm-up show.
Absolutely, Coach. It was a lot of fun last year when we did it. I thought a lot of the people really gave them an opportunity to be involved on a constant basis and in a friendly competition amongst their Hockey Nation fans. And we're looking forward to it again this year, making the predictions. Hopefully we'll be a little bit better than we were last year with the predictions, but we weren't too bad last year. I think we were
over 600. Good. So it was pretty good overall. So I think we did very good about this one there. What was the best thing you think is fun for the people in the show?
Well, from some of the people I've spoken to, they like the idea that there's that interaction for themselves to get involved. And this year we're going to make it even more exciting because not all the results that you give will be written in the chat. What we want to do is Coach and I want to have more of a dialogue rather than always me talking. I don't like that. And you'll be forwarding those in an email to me, and I will be tabulating the results on a nightly basis as the games finish, and then I'm going to forward them to Coach. And next day, we'll present those on air. And again, the bottom feeders will go directly to jail, which was fun.
We just like you, Mr.
Nice sound effects. Nice effects.
So yeah, I was waiting for that one over there for you to talk about the jail.
I like that.
Yeah, that's Rogers just locked the door, by the way. So Rogers will be back with all the driver, everything like this. I don't know. I don't think I have the bus in front of me right now. But yeah, that's what's happening about this one for sure, Mr. ENORTAP. So I can wait to having you every day, Monday to Friday, 6 o'clock p.m. about the warm-up show. First of all, we want to welcome back Faye 801. Welcome back.
Welcome, Faye. Welcome aboard.
I think talk about the Montreal Canadiens. You're absolutely right about this, Faye. You are right. And I was like, right up a show. David Vinny, I don't want to go to the jail about this one over there. And then Randy said, ENORTAP is a star. Yep, he is. You're absolutely right about this. So we're going to flow this. Guys, don't forget the only thing we ask you to put the letter Q if you have any question. And during the show, we're going to answer when we're going to go through those subjects. Tonight, a little bit more organized. Coach have a little bit more time now to organize everything. So tonight we're going to talk about something about the NHL. Of course, the main camp, everybody are back on the ice. A lot of couples, injuries, major, left and right. You have sorry problem, left and right. We're going to talk about fun team tonight. We're really focusing more on the Montreal Canadiens and Toronto Maple Leafs at the Vegas Golden Knights. We have a couple of news. We're going to talk about the NHL coaches carousel, send during the off season, and then of course at the end we're going to talk about different other subject, injuries update, like I mentioned to you guys, and that's what's happening about this one over there. We have a couple of questions, Bobby. Yeah, we're going to answer this one very soon about the Toronto. First of all, Mr. ENORTAP, maybe a couple of information about what happened on day number 2. Canadiens Montreal have 2 sessions yesterday, one at 9 o'clock a.m. They are returning, by the way, today. But honestly, the Canadiens have 2 sessions, 9 o'clock, 2 groups, and then at 1 o'clock p.m. was 2 other groups. They have a mix of the rookie veteran together. They try to make some specific line, everything like that. But give us a little bit more your impression about the day number 2 of the Montreal Canadiens. Welcome back, by the way. Jake Evans was back in the lineup. But before we start, Stubbingtone in the house.
Welcome.
Yep.
Oh, great. That's fantastic. Yeah, you know what? We were kind of questioning how they were going to take the 74 invitees and divide them. But it turned out they decided to go with 4 teams that they divided, and I thought it was best put by Martin St. Louis. He said it's not like we put the veterans in 1 or 2 groups and then put the rookies and other tryouts on the other group. We wanted to get them accustomed to each other, and using the word that Marco always uses, he wants to get a synergy going with the Laval team and the Montreal Canadiens, because part of the development is to instill the same message, whether they're playing in Laval or whether they're coming up to play for the Habs. They want to be able to emphasize the same kind of drills, the same mentality towards the game, because that's part of what the proper development is. And I'm glad to hear that they're doing that. Some of the lines that he put together were quite interesting. Like in the first team, he had a combination of Massar between Caulfield and Hoffman. Then with the second team, I think he put together Doc centering Heineman and Pitlick, and that was a good, very interesting group there. Defensively, it was interesting to see the combination of Savard with Goulet. There was a little bit of chemistry last year, and Savard really spoke highly of Goulet after the practice, just saying, you know what, this kid's got a lot of talent, and anything I can do to help his development is not only my pleasure to do, but it's going to benefit the team down the long run, in the long run. So that was good to see. The other line that they had that was interesting was the Harvey Pinard with Owen Beck and Slavkovsky as well. So that was interesting. And there was one more pairing. I think they put, if I'm not mistaken, Jordan Harris with Arbor Jackeye. And everybody spoke very highly of Jackeye today. Even Martin St. Louis, he almost said, it's without putting it too far out there, he said it's almost like trying to tame a Mustang with Jackeye. He's got such a high ceiling, and they were commenting that he's made a lot of mistakes as well. And he said, yeah, of course, especially these young kids, they're going to have a high ceiling and they're going to have a floor where they're making mistakes. I don't care about the floor at this stage in their career. I care you come to camp and you show me everything you have and you put everything into it, and then we'll address the floor later. We'll make the corrections that will limit what you're doing. But in Jackeye's case, he basically just said, you know what, stick to the course, try to do a little bit less and keep doing it well. Just work on that. And it seemed to have an effect on him because he had a great practice.
You're absolutely right about this. Great knowledge about everything happening yesterday, Mr. Nortap. For the people in the chat, guys, if you have any question outside of what the subject we're talking about, we're going to answer your question a bit later. Don't worry about this. It's just try to stay on the subject. So we appreciate each one of you have an amazing, great question for ENORTAP tonight. First of all, for the Montreal Canadiens, we have a good one here for William. Where will Cooley end up this year? Reed, he has Mathieu immensely this year at the camp.
You're absolutely right, William. That's one of the things that stood out was his maturity. Personally, I gotta believe that he's probably him and Barron are probably the two front runners for a position here on defense. Probably both might make it, is my estimation. But there's other guys that they want to see, and justifiably, like Norlander seemed to have a different attitude. Like we said before, Jacky was, he offers a lot to the table as well. And how can you forget Jordan Harris? I think he's probably been the most consistent of all the defensemen so far. And you know what? Those are the kind of problems you want to have as a coach or as a management team, right? It's like when you have so much talent there and you have to sort of pick what you want for that opening day and carry through. And that's a good predicament for Martin St. Louis to be in.
You're absolutely right about this one over there. So, if to answer back to him, I would say to you have two spots available at the beginning of the camp. Now it could be three with Joel Edmondson. That's concluded for me, Harris, Cooley, and Justin Barron. I still believe at some point, Mr. Nortap, it's going to be a carousel of defensemen at some point and for the Montreal Canadiens. So I'm talking about all three players just mentioned, they are exempt waiver. So they don't have to put back on the waiver list if they have to bring back and Laval. So for me, that was going to be happening all year long. Can he bring back Haber, Leskinen, Schoenemann? That's a part of the carousel I'm talking about. I don't see any other prospect. No, maybe one more. Norlander. That's another one could be join the team at some point to be a part of the carousel. But if you want to see what would be the 3-star, I think Barron, Harris, and Cooley. And and I know I would be trying to say that, but right now Barron is behind them completely. I think Harris and Cooley is step up over them. Cooley, if you're watching play last 2 years at Prince Albert and WHL, got traded to Edmonton or Kings during the season, and the way he play, the way he talk, the way his composure every single game, off ice, on ice, press conference, Team Canada captain, and you can see he have that kind of leader inside of him where he would be maybe one day, maybe an assistant captain until this is key happening to him. And he's the next one as a leadership, the same mode like Shane Weber, Mr. Nortap. So I just want to sharing that kind of information about this for that. Now, Dan asked this question: who look good on the training number 2?
Guys, like I said, I thought Gooley looked good. Norlander was not out of place. Harris has been very consistent. Jacky looked good. And I'm talking mostly from a defensive perspective because that's really where the openings are. Unless there's some injury or trade that comes up, I really don't anticipate too much happening with the forwards because we have such an excess there right now. It was for me. I thought probably Gooley stood out the most today, from what I saw. Like he was really poised with the puck. He was skating very well and hard, and he was showcasing his talent, which I think that's what you have to do. You have to leave everything on the ice.
Yeah, absolutely right about this. I cannot ask, add more what you just said. But for me, what I like is the comment after the practice. I like what the players said about this. Brent Pitlick was really impressed by Kirby Dack, the way he passed the puck to him. What a goal of Cole Caulfield, top shell corner from the goal line, come back in front of the net, and he go around. I think it was Parker Jones get completely
Turned around.
And then Cole Caulfield put that puck, like, I'm telling you right now, people, when you watch him play, and is the copycat of Alex DeBrincat. You can tell me, oh, he's not going to. I understand that. I'm not saying he's going to score 45, 40 goals right away. But he have the same style where he can put the puck on the 3 inches in the corner at any time and anywhere. Give him a little small hole. DeBrincat put the puck in. That way, Caulfield did it again yesterday. So great to see him performing overall. I think Albert got a lot of good view by the organization. He got a lot of words about him. That's another one. And then Coley, like you mentioned, was pretty good overall. And that was fun to see them all together, honestly. And let's go in with very quickly. How was Jake Allen today?
He didn't get as much. I didn't think he got as much time. He was on believe the second team with who was his backup there? DeRosier, I think was the goalie's name, if I'm not mistaken. Um, he was fine. He was fine. Like Allen doesn't need a lot of time to really sort of get back into the swing of things. I think last year, I think the thing with Allen is you don't want to overuse him, and they're going to see a lot of rubber this year. There's no escaping that because the defense is going to be relatively young, and even the veterans that we do have, there's going to be a couple guys that are going to be playing out of their usual chair. They're probably, like, I'm thinking specifically Matheson. He's probably going to be on the first line pairing. I don't think he should really be there. He should be probably on the second line. You got guys like Edmondson when he comes back. He'll have to probably be up there as well. Savard should probably, at this stage in his life, be on the third pairing because he would make a solid third pairing defenseman. And so it's going to be a bit of a tough year. From that perspective, I think we're going to see a lot of shots against us on net. So the goalies, it's very important that they both meet up to expectations, because if you leave Allen in there too much, injury is something that's inevitable, I think.
Yeah, Jake Allen always been about the health, so we wish the best for him. For Robin Allen about Jake Allen, not Robin Allen. Is the next question, but for Randy Walkman about this. One other thing I want to say to you, Kaden Primeau have an amazing, great day yesterday as a goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens. He make a lot of big save. It was really they have a good day yesterday. Robert Allen said, "Why, with the talent that they have, how does this team stay at the end of the bottom 5?"
It's the youth, Robert. Like at this point, like we had to go through years, probably even decades, of dispensing with the patch-up approach, where we were trying to retool. I think that this management team that's come in has realized that you have to strip it down to its foundations and build and develop. That's the key. Develop in the proper manner, and it takes time to do that. It's not something that you can do overnight. Any good rebuild will take 4 or 5 years of enduring some tough times, and then you start seeing some of the results. Like, look at teams like Ottawa and New Jersey, Detroit, what they have had to endure over the last 4 or 5 years, and now we're starting to see a very good product from those teams.
Yep, absolutely right. Robert, I would just say to you, you're absolutely right. The forward, we have depth and forward. Obviously, it's a mess as a defenseman. It's a mess as a goaltender. So we don't have the right, properly great hockey player at those two positions. And secondly, I would say the Division Atlantic, all the team are better already over the Montreal Canadiens. Now, Montreal could have a good year where they can be like 68 points, and that would be the max I would give to you right now, or 70 points. That would be like over my head. But I think the thing is going to be between 60, 65 points, and at that level of point, it's maybe at the bottom 5 over there. So That's the reason behind your question. The best I can tell you right now at this moment. I will skip Danny, who talked about the leave in the next couple of minutes. Who will be number one goalie, Jose, is going to be Jake Allen if he stay healthy. And Samuel Montembeault is going to be the goaltender number 2 over there. How did Tournier look yesterday?
To be honest, I didn't see much of Turney, so I don't know if he had a great day or not. I think I'm trying to remember who was his pairing with.
Yesterday?
Oh, I can't remember. Yeah, who was he paired with? I can't remember offhand now.
Um,
My.
I can tell you that.
Anyways, yeah, I didn't see enough of him to give you a proper uh, encapsule of how he did.
Um, the only thing I can tell you, he was not playing at 9 o'clock.
No, not today. No.
No, he was not play yesterday at 9 o'clock. He was on the
On
on
the
the second one,
the
and usually
afternoon, yeah.
Tournier play with a rookie, so he did not play with a veteran players yesterday. The second day, I would say to you that they make some kind of the selection for players after the practice talk to the press. So you're not going to see a lot of rookie have the mic or the effects of Husky, and some of them a little bit few of them. So obviously we cannot see the practice, but I want to invite everybody Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock p.m. The game is live at RDS. That gave me, guys, at 2 o'clock a.m. Yes, I'll be awake. Yes, I'm going to the description of the game just to follow up what's going on on the game. So the game will be live on the RDS French station for the game Inter-Équipe ENORTAP Sunday, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So I just want sharing this about this one over there. I apologize, Joseph, and nothing else. Mr. René Gademan, 83, back in the house. What do you see about Norlander as a trade bait, or do you see him being part of the Habs moving forward?
That's a good question. I think part of it is you have to realize that part of a proper rebuilding is also to try to acquire these young prospects, to develop them properly. And we know that sometimes, realistically, you're lucky if in any draft year you have maybe 2, possibly 3 players that can crack the NHL lineup. From what I see so far this year, I think both our first 2 rounds went very, very well. And the 4 that we selected in those rounds, with Mazar, Slafkovsky, Owen Beck, and Hudson, they all have an excellent chance of making it. Now, with Norlander, you're right. If he doesn't work into our plans, he will definitely be used as trade bait to try to acquire and speed up that rebuilding process that Gorton has spoken about, and also Hughes. And they did say, if you recall, the first day they came in, they said, yes, we're rebuilding, but we're not going to take the traditional time to get to that stage. We're also going to try to speed it up. And if you look at the floor plan, the blueprint, when Gorton was with the Rangers as well, that's what he did, right? He brought in a lot of young kids, developed them properly, but he wasn't afraid to dip into the free agency market and acquire players along the way, like the Fox and Panarin, that sped up that process. And that's what I anticipate with Montreal. And Norlander could be, if he doesn't work into our plans, he could be used as a trade bait towards that.
Yeah, absolutely about this. I was just add about Norlanders. Obviously, for him, he has something happening in front of him. First, he have a lot of injuries the last 18 months, a concussion and injury at the right shoulder. So he make him regress a little bit since with the Montreal Canadiens. Then he got beat, or now he's not a front runner to become the defenseman left side for the Montreal Canadiens. I think Cooley and Jordan Harris step up over him. And he's really played the same level of hockey like Jordan Harris. What I'm talking about is a kind of prototype of player. Puck transition, great skater, great vision, a little bit better maybe on the power play, but defensively, it struggled a lot for him to have because he has no physical side of his game. So that's the one thing about Norlander. Now, the biggest thing for him is, okay, if you don't make the Montreal Canadiens, he still have a clause, he can come back in Europe. He's for the benefit of him, it would be better to play a Laval Rocket for the upcoming year and to acclimate more with the North American, North America hockey style, rink, everything like that. So we'll be interested, like Eamon and Eamon, where both of them are going to play for the upcoming year. Both have an option to return in Europe, where I believe Eamon is going to go over there. And Frolander and Norlander, he's a guy love to be home. He love the mom. He love the dad. He love to get some breakfast in the morning from the mom, maybe. But he want maybe to go back in Europe. But that would be the benefit for him to be with the Laval Rocket for upcoming year. William asks you, do you think the Montreal is on the honeymoon phase this year, not pushing player at the expense to their development?
I think they're taking it at the right pace, William. They're not going to sacrifice somebody if they're not properly being developed along the way. To bring a player up, like when we look at Kokaniemi, for example, did it service him well to be with the team right off the bat? Or would it have been a better idea maybe keep him up 8 to 9 games, send him back down, give him an opportunity to further develop some of his skills, and then, bring him up the year after? I mean, hindsight is, 100% when you know all the facts, of course, but I don't know. I think the proper way is what they're trying to do right now, and they have the pool of talent in order to do that correctly this time.
Yeah, I would say to you, William, it's all about the same work. If you're watching and listening closely, the staff management from the top to the bottom, right? Whatever it's Martin St. Louis, Jack Ken Hughes, or Jeff Gordon, or it could be any other coaches, right? They're all about 3 words. First, they're going to the process to develop them every single day to make them better. The toolbox is there. They have a lot of tools. I'll give you an example. Adam Nicholson skate with Joshua Roy for about 40 minutes 2 days ago. Walking or you skating, turn around, tight turn, cap controlling is head works, everything like that. So that's what the development is going to be the priority, number 1, all year long for every players they have in this organization. Secondly, they're going to learn the 200 feet game from Martin St. Louis. One of these concepts is all about this. They want the player to learn to become a smarter players. It's not about the speed. It's about to play the game properly, the right way, the 200 feet. So that's, I would say to you, they will really focusing on this. Like you said, you had things in hockey you cannot be in control. The injuries. That's the biggest thing about this one over there. He said, look, I don't know the outcome about this. The only thing we know, we're going to make some step in front of us. Is it a giant step? Is it a baby step? I don't know. There are 2 things I cannot control. It's uncontrollable during the season. But one thing I know, we're going to take some step at some point. And that's what they define us. If it's a 2 years plan, a 3 years plan, a 4 years plan, a 5 years, we don't know about this. But that's the way Martin St. Louis explains on his press conference about this one over there. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be awesome. Do you see RHP being a part of the Habs roster by the end of the season or next season?
I don't necessarily see it for this year. I'll be honest with you. Unless there's a rash of injuries, like he'll be probably, one of the top 4 or 5 that could be called up. But I think it's something down the road with Harvey Pinard.
Yeah, the clock tick, right, for him, 23 years old, no chance this year, maybe play a couple of games, right? And he need to look forward to see what's going on in front of him, right? But you have to look backwards. But now you have a guy called Simoneau, and he's played a 2.0 RHP. So it'll be interesting to watching him. Again, we don't talk about Simoneau earlier, but again, what we heard yesterday, day number 2 at the camp, Simoneau had the same kind of the day like he did at the rookie camp. So not negative again, RHP, I think is a good young hockey player, but only the Gallagher will be there we cannot have three kind of player like Gallagher. We only need one of his role. So it will be interesting what him is going to do about this one. Don't worry about this. Robert Allen said we have. I forgot the cue, Mr. Natap.
That's okay, Robert. We got you.
We put him in the jail. Robert, you're in the jail. Oh, from New Brunswick, back in the house. Welcome back. Bienvenue de retour, Yann Jenner.
Yan, welcome aboard.
Randy said, have some good game about this. Who looked better at the main camp, Montabo or Primo? Just the number
Primo.
2, Vinny, about this. It will be interesting. Whatsoever, which one is better? It's almost locked over there. It's Montabo in NHL. Primo need to play 55 games. It shows he's the best goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens. Stephen White talked a lot about him. He really believe he can become a great. He talked about the story about Corey Crawford. And 2010, I believe, Andy Niemi and Crawford was battled for the pass number 1 over there, or people part of the goaltender for the Chicago Blackhawks. And Niemi got a job. Crawford come back, play for the Rockford and American Hockey League. And then over there, he played 55 games. And you know the Corey Crawford story. Now, I'm not saying Caden Primo will be like Corey Crawford, but goaltender guy, they are special. They are things friendly. It's all about confidence, Mr. Notap. He played only 80 games, and during the last 3 years, Caden Primo, he need to play another 55 games, if possible, another 30 games after that. So he's about 12 to 18 months to be a part of around the Montreal Canadiens, part of be a goaltender number 2, or maybe not going to be a Vasilevsky. Possible somewhere he could become a goaltender like Jake Allen, something like that, if everything turned around to be good for him, Mr. Notap.
Yeah, goalies for the most part are such wild cards. Like unless they're really touted as premier goalies, like Carey Price was and was taken in the first round, and a few others. We talk about Dustin Wolf with Calgary. I mean, those guys, they're going to be at some point with the squad, and they're going to be a number 1A goalie, right? The other ones, sometimes it's a late rounder that really develops. It takes a few years, but they develop well. They come up to the team. They make use of the time that they're given, and they're with the team. They become a number 1. You never know.
Can you see Monahan the rebounding this year?
I sure hope so. I would love to see him, pot 20 goals for us. I think he's definitely capable of that. The problem is, it's the hips, and when you are recovering from not just one but both of them, that and backs are the hardest things for, I think, hockey players to recover from. So will his skating be at the same level? Will he be able to pivot as well as he used to? I know with Calgary, he was fantastic in front of the net, redirecting pucks. I mean, that part will be okay, but it requires a certain, lumbar motion as well. And so is he able to hold up to that? We'll see.
I was said to you about the prediction of 20 goals. You have to think first, he needs to be healthy. That's the first one. Secondly, how much the TOI is going to get from the organization. So it will be interesting what he looked like. Is it a 4-line, third line, second line? By the way, Mr. Notap, my first line for the Montreal Canadiens called the Young Guns. Safkowski, Caulfield, and Zulski. My second line is called the rental line. They are the rental of the Montreal Canadiens. Dadonov, Monahan, and Drouin.
Not bad. I have one for you,
right?
too.
I think
I have one.
Then I have my blue collar line, Mr. Notap. My blue collar is Anderson, Gallagher, Jake Evans.
Anderson, Gallagher, and Jake Evans. Okay.
Yeah. And then I have my sleepy line, Armia, Monahan, right? And you can add another one if you want to, like Pitlick, and you can
Drouin.
Yeah. So that's my definition of my line for the Montreal Canadiens for upcoming season.
I have one for you too. It's called the Monster Line. You put Kirby Doc at center
Yep.
with Slavkovsky and Anderson, and on defense you put Gooley with Arbor Jacki.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
yes.
want to play against those monsters.
Or you can call them the Hammer. Like I call my new line, my nickname from Arbor, the Hammer. Mr. 8890, welcome aboard. Wow, Marty, first season head coach,
Welcome
let's
back.
go. You're absolutely right about this. Martin Saint-Louis does a great job behind that one over there. Let's see what we have. Lundi, c'est la première partie de la pré-saison. Oui, lundi soir. Will tomorrow's scrimmage be streamed or télévisé? It will be live streaming on the Joseph RDS radio TV station in French. That's the only way you can do. I'm going to try to make the live streaming, but not show the game, but what we do usually here will be interesting about this play at 2 o'clock a.m. You are trooper about this. Andy Cuivula, welcome aboard. Thank you, Mr. Roberts.
Hey, Auntie. Welcome aboard, buddy.
Do you think Nathan McKinnon new contract is an overpay at the right amount, or is now the highest best player in the NHL? Mr. ENORTAP?
It's not an. I mean, obviously, it's a lot of money by our standards, of course. But you got to realize this guy. He was. I want to shy away from using the word drastically, but he was definitely underpaid for with his previous contract that he had. So um, I loved hearing him today because he was mentioning how he's not happy with just one cup, and he has still a lot more to accomplish. And that's the kind of thing you want to hear from an upcoming star like he already is a star, but a continuing career to flourish. I think it's the going rate, and you're going to start seeing as soon as Matthews' contract is up that he's going to command at least that amount, probably more. So we're going to, as the cap increases for teams, with the revenues of the NHL, we're going to see these contracts for superstars getting a little bit larger every year.
Yeah, absolutely right. Welcome aboard, Jeremy Alla. Welcome on the Hockey National Show.
Hey, Jeremy.
Randy Hand back in the house. Did the app get those injuries on that training from Martin Saint-Louis?
No. I suppose we're talking about the Suzuki injury with Edmondson. Edmondson, they didn't talk much about it. I don't know if it was a back-related injury. The Suzuki one was something that was done. Actually, even Martin St. Louis was a little bit elusive about this today. He actually laughed. He said it was something that happened in his preparation and training. And he left it at that with a little bit of a smirk on his face. So it's not going to be a long injury or a long delay that he's out. So Josh Anderson, I think it's a short stint as well. Edmondson is the only one that, Edmondson is the only one that's indefinite right now.
Yeah, absolutely about this one. That's Jake Kevin already back in the house. Hey, Luke Laverson is in the house, by the way.
Hey, Luke. How's it going?
I said Jake Kevin back on the house, not on the house, by the way. I'm sorry about this. When the app rebuild done, leave 10 bill rebuild would be start there. That's a good point. I agree with you about this one there. Like the league would be rebuilt the time the Montreal. Yeah, it's about the same time the clock. About this, Mr. TH and your calendars fan is in the house tonight.
Hey, welcome back, TH. Long time no see.
The least excited as the least excited. We'll be interested in the New Canada's guys. I think they're a team. Everybody sleep on it. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. I know. I predict the Stanley Cup last season with ENORTAP. I listening. ENORTAP is the guy does the warm-up show. So I listening what he said.
Oh, boy.
But Mr. ENORTAP, quick and 30 seconds. They make the playoff or not?
I think so. They're going to find a way in there.
Yeah.
I think they will. It's going to be tough, because you have about 3 or 4 teams that are really going to be fighting it out. And just not to take this off topic, but the other day we were talking about restructuring the playoff positioning, and we talked about introducing a 9th and 10th team, which would be a play-in to get the 7th and 8th position. Wouldn't it be great? Think of the teams that are involved, or we anticipate will be involved in this in the East, and possibly even in the West. It'll be just as tough if you think of teams like Vancouver, Vegas.
Will be a very
It would be
a team to
exciting.
follow for sure. The New Canadiens, and they have an upside down over there. By the way, Barcel should get an extension the next couple of weeks, a month before the end of the season. Jeffrey B is in the house. What do you think of when Beck Sleep potential is a second center?
Owen Beck looks amazing so far. I like it, and I could see him definitely on the second line.
Yeah. That's the way. That would be the max. I would not see him first line. He still struggle on the offensive side. Unfortunately, his end are like when I said end, it's not his end sticking. It's end the shooting. He need to make a little bit more offensive side of this game. But otherwise, he have everything to become a great hockey player in NHL. Do you see the Golden Knight make the playoff, or do you see Eichel missing another playoff, especially with the channel of the Hot Dog Men? 30 seconds. I would say you 15 seconds, because when I said 30, you talk about 90, so 15 is about 45.
And there, you took the time away. 2 things I would say. Can the goaltending hold up, and can they be healthy? If those things both are a check on your list, then they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah. For me, salary cap problem. I will talk about this at the end of the show about them. Looks at ZZZ line. You're absolutely right about this one over there, the Slipey line. Not sure it's the CB line, but maybe the Toby line. What is a fan? What is Lane Hudson ETA for NHL?
ETA. What could that mean?
So what is Lane Hudson? First of all, he played an NCAA for the Boston College, Vinny, about him. So he would be out for at least for 1 or 2 years before Montreal Canadiens. He grow. He now at 5'9". That's pretty good. Listen, he can like the offensive side. It's like Paul Coffey. Like that's how he is. Like he can skate the puck from the behind the net all the way to the end to under the side. How he is. Like he's shifty like you never see in NHL. He's like Kel McCarr. Now, I'm not said he's going to be like them, but take out the size of the players, right? Let him watching skating and shifty from the left to the right. Remember me, it's funny I talk like this, but I think it reminds me a lot of Phil Horsley, Mr. ENORTAP. I think he's a kind of player like him. But again, it's always going to be one thing, the size.
Height.
Right? The second thing,
although he grew an inch.
He talk about him saying he's 9 years old. He's too small to play Pee-wee. He's too small to play Bantam. He's too small to play midget. He's too small to make the national team. He's too small to play the draft. He's too small to play NCAA. That's resonate called Martin Saint-Louis.
Exactly. And even Gallagher to a less degree. So
my point is, do not sleep on him, because you're going to be surprised if he make the right way about him, about this. What about Danny? Good one, coach. That is true. About this one. Don't forget, guys, to click on the like. That'd be awesome. Oilers have the speed to be one of the fastest team in NHL. You're absolutely right. I think him and Colorado. Edmondson is related to an old injury. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like years ago. About this, do you know what like everyone? Sleepy line to be learned because is a short. We think funny friend one. You gotta explain it about this one over there from him. What do you feel about MEILLEUR as center? Ab don't make the playoff. Not enough defenseman experience was as a goalie. What do you feel to put MEILLEUR as a center? First of all, Mr. Randy N, unfortunately, you have to go to jail. No Q in front of your question.
That's okay. We love you anyways.
So what you feel about Mézard as a
Yeah.
center?
You know, today they had him between Caulfield and Hoffman. Didn't look out of place. I mean, the kid can skate. He seems to be relatively defensively responsible. But I think that there's improvement, and the height is a bit of an issue at that position. Usually, you like to have, a centerman should be a little bit taller and stronger, and has to be very strong as well defensively to play the full length of the ice. So I don't see it personally, but you never know.
You're absolutely right about this. The only thing I always said, compare him to Brandon Point. And possible could happening to Mézard if they keep him as a
Yeah.
center. I don't say he will stay there. I think it would be more better benefit for him as a winger. But if you want to compare him and any player in the NHL, that's the Brandon Point prototype, 5'10", about 175. And I think that's the kind of player I can select him. Back second line this year, now Clay on this statement. I don't think so. Beck, Robert, I don't think so. It was maybe you
early.
did not hear what we said, or maybe the question was, do you believe the potential of Owen Beck become a second center in NHL? We said, both of us, we said yes, he can become. Of course, he will not play with Montreal. He's going to return with Mississauga still head for the OHL for the upcoming year. So I just want to clarify this, Mr. ENORTAP, about him. Kelly is in the house. Welcome aboard.
Kelly.
Coach, just talk like this, just look like the way. An amazing song. Hudson is good. He's seriously good, but defensive play is lacking. You're absolutely right about this. Is one area, but those kind of situations that play like they are, like an offensive oriented, they struggle more on the defensive zone. About this. Welcome back, Miss Kelly. By the way,
Not too dissimilar from Quinn, right? Same
yep.
thing. Offensively, very talented. Defensively, is still not where he should be.
Yep. So let's move on. We don't know. I have other question, Mr. Notap. We said we're going to talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight. A little bit what's going on with that. Day number 2 over there too. Listen, first of all, your contract Aramis, and then we talk about this for many times. So we're not going to go deep what they are, what the negotiation, everything like that. That's not what we're looking for. But what we're looking for, Mr. Notap, is really about the injuries. They lost two defensemen, honestly. And what do you think about this?
Oh, it's got to hurt. I don't know the severity of the injury because I haven't followed them as closely as I have with Montreal, but it's definitely something that they have to question because they didn't have that depth at defense to start off with, and even the players they have are, I'd say they're average to above average for the most part. So they can ill afford to have anyone of that magnitude out of the lineup for any extended period of time. You never know with Muzzin. I don't know. Again, it's a back issue with him, I believe, and those things are hard to come back from.
Yeah, absolutely about this. So, Mazen, if ever you're going to go on the long-term injury reserve, that will open the door to get that kind of negotiation with
Sandy.
Ramis and then. So it'll be the first one. The Lindgren now is a 6 week. They can use that kind of money, Mr. Nortap, to open up to long-term injury reserve. I just want to be sure I have the right amount. Lindgren is what? 1.8? 1.4.
Yeah.
1.4. No, I remember it's not good enough to send in with Lindgren out. They will make no money. And then they have to figure out, Mr. Nortap, whatever is 750, that's the minimum they can get. The contract of Ashton Reyes if they want to keep him. I think it'll be part of the puzzle over there. So that'll be very interesting what they're going to do because right now they are at less at $1.5 million at 83 with 22 plus signed so far. It will be 23 with Sandin. So that's what happening with them. So they have to figure out the cap, the salary cap for them. And that's happening. Yesterday, we have a kind of combination. They split Marner and Matthews during the day number one. So they're going to follow up what they have to do. And they play 2 games today. It's a little bit like the baseball camp where they play Group A, play at 1 o'clock. The Group B go to another place, but they play a double header again, the Ottawa Senator today on the Saturday. So we're going to give you more information about this for sure. Renaud, welcome aboard, Mr. Renaud.
Hey, Renaud, welcome.
Renaud said, did Zuski and Munson hit because they were the many men on the ice and not enough rink? Not allowed, Renaud. It was not part of the training camp for the Montreal Canadiens. So honestly, we don't know what happening. After the fact they collide together. So the only thing we know about this. Jordan Taylor, back in the house. Jordan, welcome back. Long time, my friend. Nice special affiliate, Mr. ENORTAP. Here we go. What happening, Jordan, is like we have a makeup room now, and he go there, and then he come back, and then he's ready to show. So we grow. The business growing so good, Jordan. We have a makeup stylist, and we have a hairstylist. Mine is really perfect every time I come here. We have a lot on the subject about this. And he got his cup gave away by the Montreal Canadiens to promote Montreal Canadiens and the show. So we growing, Jordan. You have no clue what's going on here about this. Bobby Bagadana said that Timothy Lindgren out 6 weeks. Pierre Egval out. Amirab day today. Joseph Wall get the Goaltender day. They have the injury about this. Thanks, Bobby, to give us some update. Luciano have a question. I believe Dubas is gonna be forced to move Nylander for a steady defenseman. Riley play a lot of minutes. They will need to be careful he's gonna get injured.
Yeah, that's a key point. We saw a little bit of that last year in the playoffs with Riley. I thought that even though his playoff was decent, it wasn't at the same level that it was during the regular season. So you're right. They need to address that sooner than later, and maybe somebody like Nylander might be. I'm sure they would love to do something with the contract of Tavares, but I mean, he's got a no trade clause or a no movement clause. I'm not sure which one. And the money's just too much. Who's going to pick that up?
Nylander have nothing, Mr. ENORTAP.
No, not Nylander. Tavares. Tavares, I think he has a... Yeah, I think he has a
no clause.
Trade.
You cannot trade him.
You can't move him. And
No,
nobody's
at
going
least
to
he
buy
accepted.
Yeah. So he needs help, Riley. He definitely needs help.
Yeah, absolutely about this. Egval is out for a couple of weeks, but we don't know yet the longevity of his injuries about this. So that's what we heard on the Cap Friendly, what I have right now in front of me. So that's what we have about this. Really interesting. We have a lot of fans in the chat, but you have no question, Mr. ENORTAP. So that's easy. That's the reason we don't talk a lot about Toronto. No, just kidding. Talking about other thing around the league, Mr. ENORTAP, we talked about the Vegas Golden Knights a couple of minutes ago. And listen, they are really in a difficult situation over there. The salary cap is over cap already. Whatever you put Weber, whatever you put Leonard, they still not have enough money to pay Nicolas Hague. Let's go put Nolan Patrick. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have enough money to pay Nicolas Hague.
I think this is, to me, it smells like trade bait, possibly. Because you're right. The salary cap is not their best friend right now.
It's really... And I understand Bobby is here, right here. I know Adam comes sometime, but this situation, guys, you talk about Kyle Dubas, right? They have a bad GM in NHL right now. I'll be honest with you. You have some they are not doing well. And I believe McRaymond is one of them. You cannot run a cap that way, Mr. ENORTAP. It's impossible. Like, you cannot... right now, they have 21 players. They have 10 million over cap. and they have to put player on the long-term injury reserve, and now they cannot sign him, but they just trade for Adam Hill, and they signed Phil
Aiden
Kessel.
Hill.
So,
Yeah.
what are the priorities? What your priority about that team? How they control? You talk about, and it's not comparing Montreal Canadiens, but they have to have some great, better way to planify, organize, structure your team. And this is a really lack of commitment or a lack of endurance about, wait a minute, before we get Phil Kessel, we trade for Hill. We need to figure out what we have. And right now, this is a really strange because on defensemen right now, listen, they have Pedangelo, Martinez, Theodore, McNabb, White
Theodore.
Cloud, and Ben Hutton. That's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Nicolas Hag, if he play, is maybe the top 4 over there. So I don't know,
And
but
they
this
can't
is
fit
not
him in.
looking good over there. Like again, I'm not negative, but they have to
No,
figure
no,
out
no.
something there.
You're totally right, Coach. You're absolutely right, and it's not a team that has managed the cap very well. As a matter of fact, maybe Bobby is not going to like what I have to say about this, but it seems like every little shiny toy they get up and say, "Oh, we got to have that. We got to have Eichel. We got to have Kessel. We have to have Stone when he came over." And then they're giving players away after. Look at what happened to Fleury. Look at what happened with Pacioretty. Like they're giving players away for nothing pretty much, and just to get under to be cap compliant. And we're going to see the same thing with Haig, unless something comes up late, like Stone has to go on the LTIR as well, which could will open up enough cap space for Haig. We're going to see this guy's going to probably be traded, and they have their backs to the wall in terms of their asking price.
Yep. You're absolutely right about this one over there. And then the Mercedes coming very soon. A question of time that we negotiate right now was going to be very close. No trade close, Bobby. No update on long and Val will be out. I love the people talk like this. Coach, is Reese the only PDO? No. They have other players right now in my head. I cannot recall it, but they are not the only one.
Is Ben on a PTO as well?
No, they are signed contract him and Victor Mété.
Oh, okay.
I thought that's my point. That's what I said. I think they are, but yes. Jordan Teller, he said, do you think Jean Muscle would prevent Pig's ability to have anyway? I don't think so, Jordan. His time is over for an NHL. Was not only a Montreal Canadiens, Jordan. I don't think so. Coach, have you met any fan of your and Taylor? Not yet. They are too busy right now, so they are all at the holders anyway. So we're going to maybe have to get there. Yeah, he's the only one really confirmed, Mr. ENORTAP. I love that people, Mr. ENORTAP, apologize, I click here. I love the people in the chat because they answer each other. And that's the beauty of what I love in the chat. And that the people help each other. And that's all important. So thank you so much, Randy. Really appreciate it. Hendy, for you expect Sansa to have a good year and resign a bigger contract next year, or is a stepping stone for him to jump to another team for the job number 1?
You know what, Auntie? I still maintain, and I think Danny has said the same thing, and a couple of others. I still maintain Murray's not the answer, whether it's because of health or other reasons. I think Samsonov at some point is going to take over the number 1 position in Toronto, and he's going to do a good job. I think he has the skills to be a number 1. He's shown it in the past. So, yeah, I think he's going to be number 1. And if the opportunity comes up for Toronto to sign him up, depending on, how far he can take the Leafs this year, it's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely right about this. I agree with you. Someone said something after that. I forgot. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. I think Bobby get a good one here. Bobby live in Vegas. So the worst thing Foley ever did was to get rid of Gallant and promote McPhee and McGrimmon. That's when the crap start to hit the fan. Then you get the move, the Fleury, and it can go all the way like Pacioretty to trade Jake Eichel, everything like that. Yeah, absolutely, Bobby. You nail it. and
Yeah.
that's what you lose. It takes time to build a reputation, right? But it take only one thing could
Yeah.
destroy very quickly. So, unfortunately,
I would also add to that, coach, very quickly. I think that the worst thing that could have happened to Vegas was that first year, that Cinderella story where they went right to the finals, because it set the bar for them. And it seems like they feel that they're just one player away, one star away from getting the elusive cup. And that's not the case. I think that was a great story in the first year, but it's not typical of a team, an expansion team coming into the league.
all right. Yep, so right. Joseph, at what time is scrimmage stream tomorrow? 3 o'clock at 15 at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Joseph, the game will be on RDS. Marco, welcome aboard. It does not feel good. Speed recovery, my
Hey,
friend.
Marco. Yes, indeed. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, Fleury and Patch lost Montreal. About this one over there, we wish the best. My brother said Jason Robinson has no reputation, is not seen because the money or you want to sign unless due to the fact the cap is going up.
I don't think it's an issue of the money, from what I'm gathering. I think it's more an issue of the length of the contract.
Yeah, absolutely right about
I
this.
think that's what the sticking point is, but that's only through what I've heard.
Yeah, absolutely right about this. Marco, talk about what we talked about this a bit earlier. Yeah, absolutely right. Those two do like a natural pairing. Mr. Steve G from Colorado Avalanche. Welcome back.
Hey,
Don't forget to
Steve.
click on the likes.
Welcome aboard.
Here we go. Next subject of the day, Mr. ENORTAP. We're going to talk about a little bit about the carousel. 13 new head coach, start with front team this year. 13 of them, I can go all the way on each team, everything like that, right? Give me your best 3 coach have the best year this year. 3 of them.
Oh, no pressure, eh?
Not at all.
Let's see. I gotta believe Boudreau's going to continue to do well. I don't know if that'll be much of a surprise. I think he always has fantastic results in the regular season. His only kryptonite has been the playoffs in his case. And
Can I give you the list of the 13 that we're helping you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Edmonton, San Jose, Vancouver, Vegas, Chicago, Dallas, Winnipeg Jets, New York Islanders, Flyers, Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, Florida Panthers, Montreal Canadiens.
I'm going to be biased. I think Martin St. Louis will continue to do well for Montreal, even though the relative positioning in the standings won't make a difference or much of a difference. I thought, oh boy, the other ones, they're a stick of dynamite, and I'm looking at Winnipeg, I'm looking at Dallas, I'm looking at um, a couple of others. They're very volatile. Like I'm not 100% convinced that, like, I think the Boston situation might turn out to be a better accommodation for them, and that might help them out. Uh, Torts, as much as I like Torts in terms of giving you an honest day's work and implementing a winning strategy, I think that's a time bomb ready to go off. We're already hearing 2 or 3 stories out of Philadelphia that don't bode very well for his success. Lalonde in Detroit, I think it's great, but you know, I don't know how that's, like, he's never been in that position, so uh, we don't know how that's gonna develop down the road. Cassidy, I like. Yeah, Cassidy is a good pickup from when he left Boston. Well, the manner in which he left.
All right, I will go my three team. Edmonton Oilers.
That's a good one. Yeah,
That's the one I will look about this. Detroit Red Wings. So what I'm talking about is the
and
team's going to get
and
better and better, right? So it'll be
I
my team number
still
two.
think Vancouver, Edmonton, and probably I don't know Detroit. I'm not convinced with.
Then I go with Vancouver Canucks. That's number three. And my wild card, the New York Islanders.
Yeah, maybe.
That's the fourth team I'm going there. And Andy go with Edmonton, Vancouver, Detroit. Andy, I'll just give you an extra point for a quiz.
No, he's breathing down my back. I can't do that.
Luciano said, for New York, fire the quickest. Luciano about this one. Is Arbor destined to start with a CH? I don't see this. Renault,
He's not destined.
go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I don't think he's destined to start with them. It would be nice, but
Yeah.
there's others in front of him right now.
That to me, others. Brandy talk about the flame. That's a good one. About this one. This year, maybe just make the playoff. And he said about this one over there. Let's move on to the next thing. I want to talk about a little bit about this, Mr. Nortap. If I can find where I am, that'd be a bit better. There we go. It was great to hear about Barry Trotz. I don't know if you heard about him, Mr. Nortap.
Yeah, no, I definitely heard that he's getting the itch to come back.
So what happening about this is, first of all, we we wish the best for his mother passed away last January, and that's maybe what's happening with the New York Islanders. Like he maybe lost the track of passion about it, not passion, but focus on the team because you lost your parents. It's not easy to recover, right? And one, he talked about why he did not go to Vegas, why he did not go to Winnipeg, why he refused the job. He really turned his life to focus on his own family. The dad live in Manitoba alone. He have to take care about the dad. Then he moved the family to Vancouver, where he has a family house during the summer. Then his son worked in Edmonton, Calgary, so he take care about the son in Calgary. Then, or maybe his daughter. Then his other son work somewhere else. He had to take care about him. Then he built a house in Nashville. So, and then the mother-in-law, he needs to take care about this. So he's really focusing and on the family first. We still have another year of his contract at $4 million or $5 million with the New York Islanders. My point to you today, I want to bring is a little bit an overview of what's happening to his life right now. And he refused to work. The Nashville player told him, if you want to work on the staff management, everything like that, he said, no, I want to really focus and on my family. Since 1983, I believe, he's now have no job as a coach in NHL or any other organization. So my point to you, I will not be surprised. I don't know where. Barry Trotz, his name is going to mention one of the first coach going to be fired at some point. And if we have that team not on the rebuild side, it would have to be on the top contender and NHL top 10. And that's happening about Barry Trotz. I was closing, said, maybe Toronto should look about him, but that's another subject for another time about that one.
If they get off, believe me, if they get off to a bad start, the Leafs, they're definitely going to look in that direction. I think you have 32 coaches that did not sleep well last night hearing this news.
Yeah, absolutely right about this. Luciano said, which team with this year has a lot of hype but will be disappointed instead?
Oh, wow. Lucky, that's a good question. I mean, we could... I hate to say it because I saw so much improvement, but maybe Buffalo to a certain degree. If if Ottawa gets off to a bad start like they have in the last 2 years
I'm scared
and
about
doesn't,
Ottawa.
yeah,
I think they
because
have
there
everything
were
to be like expectation
a lot
higher,
of changes.
and I
Yes,
think it would
yes.
be great. If Colorado, because if you think about Columbus, right, or if you think about New Jersey and Buffalo, whatsoever, their expectation is not like the like Ottawa did. So for me, it'll be the three team. I'm now could match. So it'll be more like Ottawa, honestly. Calgary could be another one with a big trade over there, and Florida Panthers could be another one.
Florida, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Actually, might get a game or two if he keep this up.
Yeah, I think
Oh
we'll
yeah, that
see
I was
at
just
some
talking
point
about the
he'll be
beginning
up.
of the season, like at the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the coach. Like, I think Montreal's defense will be pretty much in a carousel type of situation, and you're going to see different people coming in during the year.
Pierre Martin, welcome aboard.
Hey, Pierre, welcome.
Go and yet about this one. Are dress code still important, or are they all now old fashioned?
Dress codes, yeah, it's depends who you ask. If you ask somebody like Lamorello,
Well,
it's not just dress code, but
if you
facial
remember,
hair.
guys, if you remember, Mr. Notap, it's also with Piquet Subban.
Yeah, yeah.
Piquet Subban changed this kind of the dress up after, before the game. You know that now they have some contests and ranking about the dress up of the players when they show up at the game. The hat, the style, the socks, everything like that. So they are really, the player love it. The player like to go there, everything like that. So they are. On the flip side, a lot of people remarked yesterday, the first day, where Kirby Dack had a press conference with his hat reverse. And I was a little bit shocked to see that, to be honest with you. Our coach is the old school. Everything count in life, every team sport. I would tell my players, do not show up with a socks different color as you practice. We're all the same boss. We dress up the same way, and we show up all the time the same way. And Montreal Canadiens have that kind of role before. When Piquet Subban was tried to promote his brand, they changed the role to wear always the cap of the Montreal Canadiens and always properly the right way. And Kirby Dack did not do it first day. I would never be surprised. This will never happen again. You're going to see Chantal McCabe or someone, because they was talking about this, and I think that's the right things to do. I think it's, whatever you play for the team. I can see other players show up with a Blue Jays cap, or when you represent the Blackhawks, killing me. I will rip that players out right away the stage. So say, go somewhere else. Me, I will piss me off.
Maybe not if we're in a Blue Jay cap, but maybe other caps. But
like for me, it's like no. Could be that where you at properly on the right way. By the way, because when you skate, when you play, you don't go backwards, you go forward. So where you had the right direction, by the way. Sorry, that's my old school. Total coaching side fit the 190. Looked up for some. Sorry about this. It was Robert Allen here. Sometimes it's like coaches have young guys. They don't respond well to trade and don't stop. Would be interesting to follow him. Honestly, he's already starting some different things over there. Trotz holding out for management role.
It's possible, Marco. But I still think he has a passion for coaching, and he hasn't seen that to full fruition yet. So if the right offer comes along, I think he's gonna bite.
You're absolutely right about this one over there. And RJ back in the house. Just got home from Quebec City, Danny. Thanks for that invite. Nicholas Trust take over Florida if they implode and fire the coach. Unfortunately, Nicholas, I don't see them fire Paul Maurice very soon. I see a team already had no chance to fire someone like they already have a contract like Kiev or DJ Smith, Lindy Ruff, something like that. It could be a good fit with Lindy Ruff, by the way, Mr. Notap. New Jersey Devils. Ottawa could be another one, of course.
Ottawa. I think
Yep.
Ottawa will be the first coach lost this year. Fired.
No Babcock at Toronto. No, Bobby. Mike Babcock announced his retire as a coach. He's not going to return behind the bench anymore. Coach, he said to trade Dvorak to Phalaris for a prospect. Now that Evans and Suzuki are hurt and Dak improvement, they cannot afford to trade another starting center. They just lost a prior first round center RB. My video, I talk about possible they could trade. The Flyers are looking right now to trade to get a center. With Sean Coutier out, they're looking for a center in NHL. I believe with all the center Montreal has, Christian Dvorak could become a great asset for the Flyers to looking for. Then after that, I said I will not sell for the prospect. It was a second-round pick conditional at the first-round pick if they make the playoff. Of course they won't. So you get a second-round pick, and Flyers is going to be at the bottom NHL. So you're going to get a 33, a 34, or the 35th pick for the upcoming 2023. This is excellent to get Christian Dvorak. You gave a $4.5 million on salary cap, and then you get a prospect, Owen McLeod, where is a 7th-round pick, is a really shifty, but it's not matter. You just add a prospect on what they have. They're not going to give you nickel, Coates or Tippett, everything like that. So for me, that was the purpose of Christian Dvorak to trade right now. I understand they're missing right now Nick Suzuki, everything like that, and you don't have to trade him right now. I just said, if they're looking, Flyers are desperate to get a center, Christian Dvorak could become a great players for the Flyers, and they can get something bigger in return. We know Dvorak have 17 points the last 21 games. We know Dvorak could become increasing his asset if he have a great start with the Montreal Canadiens, if he can play second line or third line. Yes, we don't know what it will be his role inside the Montreal Canadiens. And again, he can stay with the Montreal Canadiens, have a good year overall. I was just mentioned, Montreal Flyers are looking for the center, and Montreal have that kind of center maybe they're looking for. Pierre-Martin, Arbor will make the team for sure.
Again, I think it's a good problem to have. They got some players there that are in the same boat, and yes, they need somebody like that. I mentioned it earlier how Martin St. Louis spoke highly of him. If they could just sort of channel his aggressiveness a little bit, but they want something like that on the team. But will it be this year? I think he'll see some games this year, but I think he still probably will have a year of development before he comes up with the team.
I like him a lot, but the benefit of him, it will be better to go to Laval Rocket. Because if he's still with Montreal Canadiens, one of the two have to go down, Jordan Harris or Kaden Cooley.
I know.
And I think the one of the three players just mentioned who need the more development is really Arbor. And to play in the third pairing when the Montreal Canadiens play about 15, 60 minutes, I don't see the purpose to keep him in the Montreal Canadiens. For me, it will be not a benefit for him overall. But again, if he make it, I'm not a decision guy. But for me, I would drop him in Laval Rocket.
Yeah.
Does Edmonton make the playoff without McDavid?
Yes, they could. Yeah, they have some very good stars on there. Not to the least of which is Draisaitl.
Yeah,
that guy
that's right.
Yeah,
It's a really great question, by the way. Who are the center now, Renault? It's easy. It's a Suzuki. All right. Now you say he's injured. He's only 2 weeks. He'll be back at the beginning of the season anyway. Right? Christian Dvorak, Kirby Dak. Then they have Jake Evan right now. If you want to use on the prospect, Owen Beck and Jan Mezak are 1 and 2 of the list I can mention. You have Monahan right now. So Monahan and Suzuki is out. But they have the list of the players just mentioned to you. They can use, of course, Philippe Mazar between if they need it. Romanov have to cut his hair. Don't forget, guys, to click on the likes. Mr. Stratsik,
Hey, STRADER. And welcome. And may I add, Coach, he did a great job with you on his analysis of Seattle that we saw today. So great job, STRADER. We're very proud of you.
Yeah, absolutely right about this. Renault Ab lost the recent first round pick center and KK and Poland.
True. Well, KK didn't have a choice. It was an offer sheet. Paling was part of a trade, so
yeah, but I was said to you, Renault, if you have Ren Poland, Montreal does not trade for Monahan, and now they don't get a first round pick.
Yeah.
Et voilà. Coach is strict on his players. Yeah, old school, unfortunately. Question: get the frame to sign one of the Montreal prospect.
Get the frame to sign one of the Montreal prospect. I got it. I got lots of frames here somewhere.
ENORTAP is more civil on his classroom law. About this.
Strict.
Players should not be allowed to chew gum. About this one there. What about the baseball players with their stupid? Yeah, I don't want to do. Who would Philly send back to match the DUARTE cap? Given they are near to the limits. Like I said, conditional second round pick Renault and a prospect like Owen McLaren. Renault about him. Kirby lost a face-up at Owen. Said what? About this one there. I was established guy. I would want to be in the management, better job security. I went to the training camp today. Shane Wright had a great day. It would be to see that expression over a few days. Awesome to hear that. Thanks to give us some information about this. Hopefully, the more with the veteran plan and we'll start. Mr. Under the Wood is in the house. Alexandre Dubois. Welcome back, Mr. Alexandre. Glad to see you that way over there. I love it. If anybody of the something I could point out about he elevate what he was with the national team, he rise to the level of the player around him, something like that. Yeah, you're absolutely right about this. Great to see that for Go Live time, Danny. Mr. Wood, Robert Grochary, a really real Cinderella Philadelphia trait. Yep. If you are trade the variety to the Flyers, also help them finish higher and the standing. That's a good point about this one. We'll see. One thing I would say to Wright is that the attention scored a lot of conversation. Settled play and the easy division. Expect Wright to have a quick start point. Ooh. Ooh. Renault, he likes to steal the pot.
He does, but I still see maybe Matty Beniers getting off to a quick
my
start.
point was just about it's not an easy division, the Pacific Division anymore.
No.
That's my point. Edmonton is better. Calgary is solid. Vancouver is getting very much better. Then you have Los Angeles King is better. Then you have the Vegas Golden Knight, and then you have the Seattle. Yeah. And then don't go under the Anaheim Ducks. They have a lot of great prospects over there, and only San Jose is bad over there. So I don't see them really bad overall. That division over there. I said on the ice. So
I keep asking.
Yeah.
Could we see 5 teams coming out of that division?
I stay out on the ice so late after scoring his buzzer beater game. Is somebody to get him out of the ice. Baron could be down, Marco. The only problem, Marco, about this, what saved him is a right defenseman. That's the only thing I would say to you about this. Jordan, if Shane Wright make the NHL first, does it give him the edge on the Slav versus Wright debate?
Time will tell.
Not right now. Arbor aggressiveness is a check. He is a cool guy, not on dope and such thing. I had no problem, Pierre, about the Arbor style, the Arbor skating, the Arbor playing, everything like that. For the benefit of him, I think he needs some kind of game professionally at at the lower level to increasing, developing better. That's the only thing I would say. What would be the benefit to have Arbor this year anyway? Third pairing.
And yeah, the other thing I was referencing, Pierre, was the fact that I was quoting really what Martin St. Louis was saying, that sometimes he gets involved too much in the aggressiveness, that it needs to be tapered a little bit so that he stays focused on, the things that he's doing well. And that's why he's getting caught out of position sometimes, because he's trying to do a little bit too much or get that extra hit. And sometimes it isn't always necessary. That's the point.
I would like to see Barry Trotz in Buffalo. You're absolutely right. Luciano problem and Grenado does a great job over there. So, but is a great point about this. I would bet Yaziski would be there for the first game, number one. Yeah, I think so. Do about this one there. Pierre RBR Kozik drug abuse kill. That's not a jack all. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Top. Everybody talk about this. Tap leave Albert Gassi nature alone. Just remember that image de prix with his pen down after they run Monday service late. About this one, Marco, I would bet is not there, unfortunately.
I'm not saying that Jack Eye has to be less aggressive. He just has to taper it. That's and again, that's Martin St. Louis saying that, not me.
When you reflect that way, and you and ENORTAP, I always said it's all about you become a smarter hockey players. I always said,
Yes.
in hockey, you need to become smarter. What is a smarter? It's like you don't need to be fast. Sometimes it's smarter to be slow down the game and let the game go to you and not to make the game go at you. That's the two different thing after that. You can see game number one of Savkovsky versus game number two, what he did. Patient with the puck, protect the puck better, keep the puck a little bit longer. And that make him a better game number two at Savkovsky versus game number one. So the details of the game have to become now more natural for Arbor to accept those kind of the requirement to play a better game in NHL. When you talk about aggressivity, it's about the cap controlling, cap control, what ENORTAP bring on the table right now, is to know when he need to pinch, when he cannot pinch, and this is a time to adjust his speed at the game. And that's what this is going to be on the offensive side, on the neutral zone, and on the defensive zone. And look, Romanov, his biggest problem was himself to pinch too early, to go outside of the dots. In those games, the game like that, it was not awareness about what's going on around him, how the play develop. And that's those kind of details. Haber does not have it yet. He need to learn. He need to develop. For me, I would say for the benefit of him, go to Laval Rocket, go get those tools and your toolbox, and then come back and then Montreal Canadiens. And right now, I don't need him at this moment. Sorry about that, Mr. ENORTAP.
No, well said.
Have a good night, right, Randy. Did Islanders pick up anyone better to play with Barzell? If not, then I really feel hard to believe they will be in the playoff.
They haven't. Doesn't mean that they're not still searching. Something could materialize.
But
But they had a lot of things not go their way last year. Starting with, I think it was 12 or 13 games opening up on the road because the arena wasn't ready. COVID hit them. I mean, lots of teams can claim that excuse, but they had a ton of injuries as well at the beginning. And yet the second half of the year, they were one of the better teams and came close to making the playoffs, despite all of that bad luck.
Mr. ENORTAP, and what?
And they've improved their defense. They have one of the best defenses in the league. Goaltending is solid.
You're absolutely right.
And
you bring Romanov in the lineup.
yeah.
And then you have the best top three goaltender in NHL.
Yeah.
What Shostakin did last year, Mr. ENORTAP?
He did amazing. He held the Rangers together for
Do not
quite a
forget
while.
his last name. Don't forget the last name of the goaltender, Islanders. One of my top nomination for the visitor trophy for next year.
You're gonna go there, are you?
I was all wrong with Islanders last year.
Yeah, you and me both.
Luc Laforcine
Maybe
said it's
we're
a good
wrong
one.
again. I don't know.
Luc said the player shooter malt me, so don't need gum.
It's very
And
true.
Mr. Roger Delaney is in the house tonight.
Roger the Master. Welcome.
Our coach should wear the hat and dress like to Blake. Yeah, absolutely right about this, Mr. Stratic. To Blake, and who was the coach for the Chicago Blackhawks, Mr. ENORTAP, wear the hat all the time?
They wore the hat all the time.
It was
Am I
not
that old?
Bill Ray,
Did he?
the coach?
I remember Punch Imlach always wore a hat.
Yeah, Toronto, but
Yeah.
I think it was Bill Ray, the coach of Chicago,
Bill
behind
Ray?
the bench. The time with Mikita, everything like that.
I'm not
Would
as
you
old as
take
you,
GVR for Novak Renault? They have no money, Montreal Canadiens. Why are you going to take a player over 30 years old, Renault? I don't get it. Why would be
Plus,
the purpose to get GVR?
And isn't JVR making like $6 million, I believe?
Yeah, 7.
7. Even worse.
Yeah. So the only thing I like about those outdoor game, coach dress old school. Yeah, the jacket. The Ducks prospect pool is making Disney think about making a mini Ducks for. Yeah, Jordan. They have a lot of prospect, by the way. Harris playing right. Yeah, they bring him on the left side to bring him a spot in case they need him on the right side, Marco, about this. And that's they try to figure out, okay, do we need pick a player, an extra player or not? That's another subject about this, Pierre, Marco. Does Seattle have a farm team?
They do.
Which one?
Oh, I don't remember the name, but definitely they do.
It's not the Palm Spring?
Help us out, Striatic.
It's not a Palm Spring team?
I don't think so.
I think it is. I think last year it was with Florida Panthers with Charlotte Shakers.
Oh.
I think Bill and Bob brings me. I could be wrong here. I think they are not ready yet.
I'm not sure.
Will Vegas make the playoff this year without Leonard? Do you think they can request a trade Boston soon?
Will Vegas make the playoff this year without Leonard? Yeah, goaltending is definitely a question mark. I think if they can stay healthy, they have a good shot of making the playoffs. But you're right, the goaltending needs to be addressed. I don't know if Thompson can.
I don't think so. They would trade Jack Eichel to Boston, Hunter.
No.
And then make the playoff. I would say to you 50-50. San Philadelphia is $2-3 million on the cap. On the cap, GVR is 7. Yeah, but what would be the purpose for Montreal to get him? That's what the question you ask us, Renaud. I don't see
it goes against their philosophy in terms of how they're building here.
Yeah.
To bring somebody his age in.
From 1 to 10, coach, give me your team finish overall.
Oh.
To the 1 to 10, look, we're going to give all those predictions, guys. October 1st, we talk about the warm-up show. We're going to talk about this one. I'm still working on this, by the way. Coach should also wear team them would play as a coach should like Dark Blake to Blake. One will Matthews hit the same slot to Tavares and move down to the depth chart? No, Renaud.
Matthews is solid.
He is one of the top 5 best players in each Cooley will make the team for sure. I will say to you, yes.
Possibly, yeah. It looks that way right now.
It's a master class, so ask him to him explain his approach. Absolutely right about this one. Coach, ENORTAP or any of the Toronto game, there is it tomorrow. I did not know that, Jose, unfortunately.
I don't think so, Jose.
Yep. Is our
probably stream it.
Team is got a question like exit MLN, it'll be fantastic.
He'll be
If
fine. Harper will feel.
Jacky does emerge as expected, the jump over and left defenseman that sharp. Yes,
Not this year.
but
Not
not
this year,
over
no.
Orlando, not over like Cooley.
Yeah.
Renault said nothing should be that. Don't have to work harder, but harder, smarter. It's about experience to and learn to be a pro as a pro level goes for every player. But if you are not playing at a higher level before, you're absolutely right about this one over there. How is Mr. Jose Duarte? Someone asked about Parker John. I apologized earlier, and I know I'm sure he's maybe not here anymore, but no, did not do well overall yesterday about him. Kelly, split squad, awesome. I will let him know when he finish work for the second game about this. Sorokin, Marco. Sorokin and Jay Woodruff also gave a great press conference about them. I don't see the Lions doing better than last season. Yes, possible. Look like for Park about in Latcher. Just again is a lit Rangers to the playoff from what I heard, which I know is correct core. Deflate and rely on him heavily. Yeah, it's like carry on that team all the way to the end and give them the better team. Another need to rebuild or stay over middle rank, but not cup worth it. Andy, Lou gonna break down some leg, have some suburb they don't make the playoff. Settled from was the Charlotte show, now is the Coachella Valley.
Right.
Here we go.
Yes. Good.
What is Coachella Valley, Mr. Notap?
I don't know.
It's not about Palm Spring, California? Valley?
Is it? I don't know. I'm not.
So that's it. Can you confirm?
The Valley.
Palm Spring, Pascal, Coachella, because you did it again!
Coachella.
When I talk about...
never doubt the coach.
Coachella, it looked like a bugs, no? What? I feel like it. I don't know. Like, if you think about this, I live at the Coachella Valley in Palm Springs. Like, Coachella is like, what kind of bug it is? I don't know. I feel like that way. Right? The Firebirds and Palm Springs, Bobby Baguette Nuts. Hard to skate with a broken leg and no sunburn about this one. Their Sargil Farm is a Coachella or the Palooza. Everything, everybody got like the Coachella Valley Firebirds. Everybody lucky about this. I love it. The people help each other. Carrie Willett is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, Carrie.
Welcome aboard, Gary. Gary gave me all the great comments, Mr. Notap, and the comments about the team and the video we do every single day. Glad having Gary in the house. He said, Montreal, you have a great start enough.
Will Montreal get off to a fast start? It's hard to say. It's going to be tough. I think we're going to see high-scoring games with the Habs this year, unfortunately, and we're not going to be on the winning side of a lot of those, just because our goaltending isn't quite up to speed. Our defense is a work in process, and but I expect the forwards. We're going to see an up year from a lot of the players that had off years last year, plus some of the acquisitions we got. I think that they, like in the entire discussion, we always keep forgetting that we did pick up Dadonov, and I think that should add to our offense as well. We had Drouin that was out the whole year last year, just about, and I mean, that should help somewhat. And the young kids should be improved as well. Guys like Caulfield, Suzuki.
You're absolutely right about this one. There we welcome Mr. Kevin TV in the house. I will say to you 3W, 4W first month will be good for the Montreal Canadiens overall. Then Dan Bishma, coach of the Firebirds, Chiska Campbell, first woman assistant coach and American Hockey League. You're absolutely right about this one over there. It's great to get all the outside, the inside of the Kraken. 7 o'clock, Sport Net 1. Look, Rangers for the Cup this year, Coach.
I say they're a top 6 team for sure.
Yeah,
Rangers.
I would agree with you with that part of there. I would not be surprised they are on the final four team, right? That at the end, like
Yeah.
they play at the final conference. I would not be surprised they reach that level about this one. Then, Mr. Natap, you don't believe me, but we get the end of the show of the statement. By the way, Mr. Natap, we want to mention I have a couple of injuries, but the biggest one for me is Robbie Fabry. Another 4 months. Fabry missed almost the season last season with the Detroit Red Wings. The expectation for him was very high for the Detroit Red Wings. So, very sad news about this. By the way, Mr. Natap, do you like my graphics third lower at the bottom?
Yeah, amazing. You're always outdoing yourself every show, Coach.
But we talk about Alzheimer this morning
Alzheimer's.
with Danny. So I said maybe
That's
better
me.
for me and you to bring the graphic on so we not forget what we're talking about. And I said that would be better way. So that's the reason we are together because one or two do some kind of Alzheimer, a couple of seconds, but someone can pick it up the another one. So that's what happened. Are you agree with me?
Always.
I think
I'd be a foolish
I'm not
man not to
remember.
agree.
Here we go, Mr.
I
Natap.
think
Are you ready?
I think some of our new people that came to the chat have not seen your prison yet. Your special
Oh,
effects.
you
Show
want
them
to
one more
see?
time, Coach.
Can we
One
put
more
Marco in
time.
the jail, Mr. Natap?
Let's do it.
Let's put Mr. Natap and Mr. Marco in the jail. Roger, just lock him for the rest of the weekend, Mr. Natap.
There you go.
I can surprise you one more time. You want me to surprise you one more thing?
Go ahead. I'm always willing to
All right.
have
So,
novelties.
last season, Mr. Natap, at the
Yeah.
playoff, many people show up at the jail, right?
Yes.
And I don't know why, but Jose was really make a lot of noise. That's Roger show up now at the mic. Now you see the complaining of Kelly and the burner. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Nicolas de Goubi Bono back in the house. Time for the quiz. RJ said, Natap in the jail. Yep, it is. Everything like that. So let's move on, Mr. Natap, at the jail time. If I can find it where we at, Mr. Natap, and it would be right here about this one at the top. Here we go, Mr. Natap. You are the leader of this. You get an extra point yesterday. I forgot about this. You are the winner alone. That give you 2 points yesterday, Mr. Natap. So you take the lead now at 9.5 over the next one. So you are really on fire, Mr. Natap. We appreciate about this. Shane Smith, go live go. Shane, welcome aboard. Thanks for being a part of the show. And Larry Lonson Jr., I see some of the Canadiens have a jury. Who do you getting the open spot? More about the defensive zone on the defensive side, Larry. Nothing on the forward, but not the defenseman. So Mike Medicine is going to have a bigger role. You're going to have possible an extra rookie like Iris, Barron, and Coley could be joined the team, Larry. And thanks to stop by about this. And then Mr. Shane, thanks to be a part of the show. Mr. Natap, are you ready for the show? 5 questions, guys. You give us your answer.
Sure.
And we're going to give you the best of the quiz we have tonight. So Natap, tonight, a little bit different. Because I go all over the map tonight about the NHL draft players. So by round. So it'll be different. I think it'll be fun. I think you're going to give us your knowledge. I predict a score on minimum of 3 for you tonight, Mr. Natap.
Ooh, that's too much. I gotta think.
No pressure. Question number 1, Mr. Natap. From this list, which player is the second player with the most point ever draft 7 round in NHL? He's right now, at this moment, the second one. Is it Joe Pavelski, Henrik Silderberg, Andrew Brunette, Cliff Ronning, or Doug Gilmour? Of course, they could be active or no active on that one. They was draft 7 round pick, has the second player with the most point. Who is? RG said clip running.
Second.
Kerry go with Joe Pavelski. Robert Allen, Doug Gilmore. Nicola go with Pavelski. Thanks so much. Bobby Baguedonuts go with B. Jose Duarte go with E. Thanks so much, Jose. And then we have anybody else so far? We have Run with Kings D. Marco with B. Thanks so much. About this one over there. We have Luciano with B. Pierre Martin with D. We have Luc Laforcine with A. Danny with B. We have Vinny B. Dan Asham E. We have more people. Mr. ENORTAP. Don't forget, click on the likes, everybody. We have Dan E. Larry B. Danny D. Andy D. Kelly D. All right. That's what we are at this moment. And Mr. ENORTAP is Pierre Martin said E. Mr. ENORTAP.
Everybody? I'm going to go with Doug Gilmore. E.
Oh my God! I knew at some point I will get someone here. And
you got me.
I got you. The answer is B. Henrik Zetterberg. And the reason I said Doug Gilmore, Mr. ENORTAP, is the number one understanding.
Yeah.
All right. So I specific second twice, a couple of times. So
I know.
That one guy's Mr. ENORTAP, Bobby, Run with Kings, Pierre Martin, Vinny, and Larry score on that one over there. So congratulations about each one of them. And that's what we had. Danny said, Danny get the, Danny is on the house with a good answer. Congratulations about this one over there. And
Danny's all hyped up.
One over there. So let's move on. Question number 2. Here we go. Mr. ENORTAP. Which player from this list has the most minute of penalty ever and the NHL draft possible 5th round? Is it Ray Ferraro, Gary Galley, Scott Walker, Kevin Bielska, or Ren Reeves? Which one has the most minute penalty from this list?
But you're saying was a 5th round pick.
There was all draft 5th round pick in NHL anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
I see the obvious one.
Yeah, I did not mention your name, Marco. I apologize. RJ, Nicolas, CC. Run with A. Andy D. Dan Asham D. Danny E. Robert E. Jerry D. Luc A. Marco B. Bobby C. We have Larry A. Thanks so much. Mr. ENORTAP, the time the people thinking what you have on your slim. On your...
I will go with...
Vinny.
It's not the obvious.
Look here.
I don't think it's the obvious, which would be Reeves, probably.
Yeah.
So I'll go with... I'm going to go with... I'm going to go off the charts here. I'm going to say Kevin Bielsa.
Oh, my God! Kevin Bielsa?
Yeah.
If you have a second choice, what it would be?
Gary Galley.
Gary Galley. All right. Jose B. Vinny A. Luciano C. Pierre Martin B. Kelly A. Luc Laforcine said a razor. And the answer, guys, is A. Ray Ferraro at the most minute penalty. Guys, Run with Kings 2. Vinny 2. Larry Jr. 2. But we have Luc Laforcine and Kelly had one good answer on that one. Congratulations. Joined the leaderboard about this one over there. You have to finish strong, Mr. Notab. I said 3 and 5 today.
You jinxed me. Thank you.
Oh my God! All right. If you put all the name together, Mr. Notab, all right, Ray, Platt, Object, Kutcher, McRae, and Schultz, they got 16,458 minutes of penalty, Mr. Notab.
Where do you get these?
Is it under, over, or exact? At Daily, they was drafted, by the way, 5th overall pick or 3rd. I
As
can't
I
remember.
can see, yeah.
So Nicolas
You
go
have
with
to add them all
C.
together. Okay, all together. Ray, Platt, Ojic,
RJC,
McRae, and
One with B. I tried to outsmart coach. That did not work. Over Danny, Luc Laforcine C, Luciano C, Jose C, Robert Allen A. Here we go. Kelly C, Marco A, Bobby Bagadonat said A. Thanks so much. Kelly C. Gary Willett said B. Luc Laforcine, Willie Platt, Pierre Martin C, Dan C, Andy B. Andy did not go start today very well, 0-2, I believe, so far. And during that time, Mr. Nortap, we wait for a couple of people. I think I don't have Ron with Kings. I don't have Vinny and Larry. 3 of them, I didn't have their answer. Vinny said A. I don't have Larry right now, Mr. Nortap.
Okay, so Danny's always distracting me here.
Because
usually on these kind of questions, Danny always goes exact. But he went with over, so I'll take exact.
Exact for Mr. Nortap. All right. If you have another answer, what it would be?
It would be over.
Oh my God! Boy, it's a tough game for you, Mr. Nortap. It was an A.
Oh, dear Lord.
And Vinny,
dear Lord.
James 007 take the lead at 3, ladies and gentlemen. Chicago just show up with an 8. Thanks so much. And then we have it down with a B. I first say I didn't. Larry said B, by the way. Ron said B, so they are round. And Chicago get an A on that one with their congratulations. And that's what we at as them. Question number 4, 2 to go. Can you come back?
Not this day.
Question number 4, ladies and gentlemen. And the NHL history, how many players draft first round pick and have 1,000 points and more? How many of them, Mr. Nortap? They was draft first round, not overall, first round. 44, 48, 52, 61, or 67, Mr. Nortap. Pierre Martin, 1 and 2. Danny, 1 and 2. Chicago, go with B. Thanks so much, Chicago. Welcome back in the house with Don, both of you. Andy, go with B. Zenit, the sniper man, is in the house, Mr. Nortap. Zenit, welcome back. By the way, don't forget, guys, to click on the ice when you're leaving the building. RJ A, Ron A, Jose A, Robert A, Danny T A, Bobby Bagadonat says C. Thanks so much. And have another A right now. Thanks so much, Bobby. Larry D, Vinny C, Nicolas D, Luc Laforcine D, Dan A, Kerry A, 48 likes. And we have Luciano with E. Pierre Martin said D. Marco said C. Mr. Nortap, the clock is up.
What did Danny take?
I don't know. Kelly C.
I'm gonna go with.
You say A, I believe.
Yeah, no, too low.
A.
I'm gonna go with C. C 52.
All right. Oh my God! You see, I didn't ask you that question because you are right, Mr. Natap. Congratulations about this. But, ladies and gentlemen, Vinny is on fire. 4-4 for Vinny. And Marco is at 3. And Mr. Bobby Magadanat is at 3. 2 possibilities to reach Vinny. Although you guys, you just participate for the rest of the last question of the night.
Dun, 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 dun.
So, Mr. Natap, I just follow up with that question we just did. How many defensemen draft first round have over 1,000 points? Of the 52 we just mentioned, how many of them have one of the 1,000 points? 5 of them, 6 of them, 7 of them, 8 of them, or 9 of them? Chicago, oh, it's over. Yeah, unfortunately for you, Chicago. Sorry about that. OMG, Vinny. Yeah, he is. Chicago said D. Luciano said E. Andy said B. Andy struggled tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Nicolas said C. Runway King said D. Kerry with E. RJC. RJ Nicolas follow them. HNR tonight, both of them. Larry, welcome back. Larry gave us B. Danny A. How about Alan A? Vinny C. Bobby D. Pierre-Martin C. Jose Eduardo C. Luc Lafortune C. Marco Larabie C. Kelly said D. And we are right now at the end of this one, Mr. Nortap.
Yeah, it's either C or D. I'm gonna go with C.
C, Mr. Nortap.
Oh my God!
The answer to this one, ladies and gentlemen, is C, but not good enough for everybody because Vinny just complete for the second time, year number 3, a perfect game of 5-5, Mr. Nortap. Vinny James,
bonus.
Wow, what a performance of Mr. Vinny, Mr. Nortap. Great.
Way to go, Vinny.
Great show about this one over there. On that one, Mr. Nortap, he jumped a 3-point and the leaderboard with tonight's show. So congratulations again, Mr. Vinny. Great performance overall. And we are appreciative, of course, you. Here we go. Vinny James 007, the winner of that one over there. Mr. Nortap, that's complete. Another great show of the HNL Tonight Show. We are really appreciate your participation tonight. We want to remind everybody, don't forget, we are back, night. Mr. Nortap, October 1st for the shows called the warm-up show with 6 o'clock Eastern Time, Monday to Friday. October 1st will be the first night with Mr. Nortap. We want to appreciate Alexis Millette. He's another subscriber of the Hockey National Show. Yeah, one more in the house, Mr. Nortap.
One at a time.
We want to remind everybody, don't forget, guys, to our Habs branch, your Sunday rendezvous, 11 o'clock Eastern Time Sunday. We're recording the tape earlier, but we are live in the chat. Karen was great last week. Marco was good. And I'm always there, of course. So don't forget that show is going to happening. And, of course, we're going to be back Saturday night for another show. We try to do the game Sunday afternoon live for the Montreal Canadiens versus the inter-equipe at the RDS live streaming, Mr. Nortap. What, you have something to say, Mr. Nortap, before we go out?
No, another fantastic night, Coach. Always fun talking about the NHL and everything happening.
You're absolutely right. And then we want to thank all the people in the chat, Mr. Nortap. They did a very good job with great questions. And we have a lot of people in the house tonight. We appreciate each one of you. And of course, without this, you are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you are greatness inside of you. Yes, Mr. Nortap, you are the one that we always appreciate your time and we're really grateful about this. Time for me to go to the beach. Time to walk a little bit inside of Thailand today. Mr. Nortap, we'll go take a couple of hours to break, go to the gym a little bit earlier. But before we leave, we want to remind everybody, of course, have a happy weekend, everybody, and be well, be healthy. Find a way not only to dominate your day, but find a way to dominate the second half of what, Mr. Nortap?
You're 2022.
You're absolutely right, everybody. Remember, We love you people. Have an amazing, great weekend. Mr.
Good night, everyone.
Thanks so much for everything. We wish you an amazing,
night,
great
Coach.
one.
Have a great weekend.
I rather want you to just let me be. Oh, oh, oh.
José Duarte, Pierre Martin, Nicolas de Bobby Bodmo, Vinny, Luc Laportune, Andy Cuivra, Chicago Bear, Kelly, many others. We want to thank all the moderators of the Hockey National Show during the day tonight, during the show. ENORTAP, Danny T, Runway King, José Duarte, Luciano, and the captain, the skipper, Danny T. We want to thank all the new members of the Hockey National Show. All of them, over 30 people now, all the members, we thank you for your support of the Hockey National Show. And then, of course, we want to thank everybody, all the people in the chat for your participation tonight. Have an amazing, great weekend, everybody. Look up soon.